Hey everyone, today we're going to be going over the best and the worst plays of SI 2021. And big thanks to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video and making it possible. The best plays will focus more on how some teams capitalized on a situation and worked it out in their favor, whereas the worst plays will be more about how teams made a mistake that cost them the round. And SI went on for 2 weeks, so we've got a lot to cover. But before we do that, I want to remind you that even though SI has ended, Pro League never stops. We have Stage 2 of North America League starting on June 15th. Make sure to follow R6 Esports NA on Twitter for all the latest news. Link to that down below in the description. And don't forget that if you want to support your favorite esports teams, you can do so by getting the league and team bundles. 30% of each bundle or item purchase will be distributed among the orgs. So you can support an org and get some cool in-game cosmetics. Now with that all said, let's get into the first playday.
4 versus 3, and all the kind of role now and functionality now falls onto the remaining 4 members of BDS, who between them not really got the most kills. 7 kills across 6 rounds so far. This is the time for you boys to step up and show that this isn't the LM show.
Certainly need to. We've got Renshiro in there just remodeling once again and showing us exactly how much of that cafe floor can be opened up, looking for vertical angles. But to be honest with you, he hasn't really disrupted this Dark Zero defense too much yet. They haven't had to move around. Shaiko manages to find one onto Eclipse, leaving us 4 versus 2. Pressure coming onto Skies on the pulse as well. He detonates a pre-placed Nitro there, but will not have any joy this time. 20 seconds left to go, and BDS, they need to make a move and do something, and that's exactly what Breeder does onto Hyper. Skies manages to get one, but you feel at this point like it's likely an impactless kill. 1 versus 2, 10 seconds left to go.
Diffuser.
The Diffuser is down, Des. Skies could play for time here.
No way is he pulling this back. Got the 3K, it's Shaiko, and this is one peeks around the corner, can't quite find it. Time's about to run out.
Here we have Skies from Dark Zero with the best play of Playday 1. This clip showcases how important positioning is. Before he gets his first kill, he positions himself in the corner between the castle barricade and the open double door. He does this so he only has to hold 2 entries. He knows BDS will be pushing for that site simply because majority of BDS is around it. He sits and waits and then swings on Hibana perfectly, knowing that they need to reload after they just killed Smoke. It was a bit of a gamble because someone could have been watching from afar, but he took the risk and it paid off. And then without skipping a beat, immediately heads over to the hole that leads to red stairs. This was an important move as Hibana is likely giving the call that Skies was in the hallway, which caused Nomad to look over to that hole in the red hallway. And then this next part is the best part. Skies likely saw the diffuser fall off of Hibana's body, so he knows that it's in pillar room. He decides to hold the angle from red hall and kill whoever goes for the diffuser using the leg holes. This is the perfect position to play because, as we saw, you couldn't run through that hole in the red hallway. He had to vault in, so that means while Sledge picks up the diffuser, Ash can't just rush in and kill him. So he takes out Sledge, and then all he has to do is just play the hole in the hallway, which I believe in this situation stopped Ash from strafing into the hallway, and it actually saved his life, and ultimately wins them the round.
They have 30 seconds and they finally have some boots on the side. Digs himself down that center column there as Nova finds Palu on the cross side. They've been able to take the Banshee, and Nova's been able to try and stick a plant here around the corner. The C4 doesn't quite catch one. They're holding the angle. They want to swing round. They don't need to. Someone else is there, but Harper is able to find one back post plant situation for the first time in this showdown. But Harper is still on a bit of a mission here. He's just got MV Taylor left. He has the vertical control here. Ness has 1 impact, and it's not potentially going to be enough if he doesn't get a very clean shot. He's going to try and hold it, repositioning a drone, getting himself set up, plays the game, hits the old body, doesn't quite catch it. There's the impact.
He gets it!
There's the down! He doesn't have the confirmation! He's going back, he's not quite sure. He
Ness,
only
you gotta
has
go.
a few seconds. Stick it, Ness! Stick it!
You gotta stick it, you cannot let go. Otherwise you're gonna be tossing this round away, and yet again we have a Cloud9 round.
And now we have the worst play of the first playday. Cloud9 are attacking against Liquid, and it's a 5v4 situation with the plant going down. The biggest mistake here is Ash swinging. Obviously this is all super chaotic, where 5 deaths happen in 2 seconds. But Cloud9 was in a perfect position to just hold and wait while trading kills. But Ash disrupted that system. I mean, she was ultimately traded, but because she decided to swing and then died, Thermite had to swing wide on the boxes to see Kaid. Once he kills Kaid, Wamai kills him. If Ash had sat and waited, they could have played a little bit more conservatively. Maybe Cade peeks the hallway and kills Ash, but then Thermite kills Cade at the doorway and doesn't have to leave his position, and then they're in a 2v1 situation against Wamai. But instead we're left in a 1v1. And this is where I would argue what happened next is more unlucky for Ace rather than anything bad he did. Sure, his positioning could have been a little bit better, could have played a bit more conservatively, maybe in the hallway and then running up to peek when needed. But honestly, in that position, who would expect an impact that late in the round? I know I wouldn't.
Well, now Bolo is eyeing up Cool Vibes. Obviously, they want to try and swing some pressure here sooner rather than later, but is waiting for a bit of the go-ahead to draw some attention away, because if there isn't another bit of a threat, then it's a big bit of danger. There is one blue body around the lobby on the opposite side. You can see it by the 4 ping being told where they are, and, well, they're seemingly aware, but it makes this sunrise door a little bit more dangerous because it offers a huge angle for Rampy to fire all the way deep across and see if he can cut someone off unaware. We talked about this big roam from lobby before and how it could be something so monumental if timed perfectly, and previously it was, but it's making sure that TSM still have the time to dig themselves up without getting drawn in by the potential behind them. There's a ping, there's a great gas canister that really preempted that E1D now. Nade is trying to hold on for his life and everything is exploding or smoking around him. He's finally able to dig into a corner, but it's Charla that goes down. Rampy with the rotation via officers gets one. Bolo tries to get revenge but can't quite catch him. 40 seconds, another body goes down. It's Nade. Tried to find something at the bottom of Cool Vibes but couldn't quite get it, but there's achieved with that crossfire on Rampy. It's a 4 versus 1. Another body down on the Cool Vibe stairs now as they try and swing round. Dropped by Bosco, but Gio is going to try and put the diffuser down. One of the highest plant stats across NAL, and he's trying to make sure it carries on through here. No!
Bosco!
Bosco with a double kill!
There isn't too much to say about this play other than Bosco played it perfectly. This was, in my opinion, the best play of Playday number 2. It starts off where we can only see for a small frame that Bosco's first kill is onto Achieved, who was repelled on site window. I'm not sure where he was playing before that, but that was a good pick. Turns it into 1v3. Then I assume he uses the callouts from his team, who were just killed by Ash, that Ash was by Vase. So he swings, expecting her to be there. She is. He gets the kill. Brings us down into a much more winnable situation from a 1v2. And this last little tidbit is where you can make the argument whether Bosco played it super well or TSM through. Gio starts planting, which Bosco hears. And then Bolo's trying to hold Bosco off while holding the angle from Cool Vibes. So he knows where the last two are. Bosco uses a Toxic Babe to keep Bolo off of the angle. And then for some strange reason, not sure why, Bolo prones. Not too sure if this was to try and avoid damage, stay below the smoke as they always taught us as kids, or maybe he fat fingered a button, don't know. But either way, he gets him killed. Bosco doesn't know that Bolo's dying to it. All he knows is that it's just keeping him away. He swings on Gio, who's still sticking the plant because he thinks Bolo can cover him. And then he manages to kill Gio because he's just sitting there. Overall, a really good play from Bosco. He played it perfectly. He used his utility as best as he could. And it was all with the SMG-11, which is one of the hardest guns to control in the game.
These walls won't be electrified for too long.
Absolutely not. I would, as you say, Des, expect TSM to deal with this catwalk very quickly. And once you've got the East Breach and catwalk, there is absolutely no reason that you shouldn't be winning CCTV and cash as a defender. It's basically going to take a huge play, from the defenders at that point to get the win. The attackers should have every advantage they need now. Achieved, he's opened up the garage, just very aware of the potential for a player in or around Pool there, but I don't think they're actually being challenged from that double window. But TSM just showing good due diligence, not going to allow themselves to get peeked out. Lukid, for the time being, on the Kaid is still entrenched up on that catwalk, but surely it's not going to take too long. That's essential, Des! That is essential! And he rips the head of Charla and goes huge with 2 more! 3 kills to Lukid on the round, and that's how you defend! Surely not an ace, Des! Surely not another one for us on our first game of the day!
Unfortunately, no. He did not ace that round. But he still got a quad, which was really impressive, but also really lucky. And I don't want to rag on TSM too much after the other clip, but they do get the worst play of the day in Playday 2. The big fuck up here is that in this play, there is no one actually watching Rafters where Lukid is, which allowed for all these events to transpire. Someone from TSM should have been watching the Rafters before Capitao even firebolted it, either watching for Lukid to run away or to jump over. But instead, for some reason, Maverick is watching the garage door, and then meanwhile, Thermite is just kind of running around. Not entirely sure what he was trying to do, but he ended up running into Lukid's bullets. And all 3 of them die in 3 seconds. So we can't really, harp on TSM too much for communication or anything. No one can communicate that quickly. But what we can harp on them for is the fact that they were not watching the Rafters. The whole point of Capitao firebolting it is to force him out of position. But if no one's watching for when he jumps out of position, what was the point of firebolting it? And so they just kind of sat there, let him kill them, and then ultimately lose the round.
Able to leave it up to these last 50 seconds, still a 5v5, and they need to go for the execute quick. Breeda's holding off for a potential rotate through blue right there, as Shaiko going quite low himself. In the meantime, it's Renshiro taking off a gunfight right there. Smoke canisters are being popped. They need to hurry, but there's no way in. It's BDS that need to find themselves their own way or create it, as Levy will be able to drop on, but Rafal's going to go for the refrag. In the meantime, the whole chaos is happening right in front of us, and Renshiro hoping to make something happen. Picks up one, but there's still one right next to E-Box.
That's it. KDS is in between two bodies, and, well, that grenade almost makes it for no longer. He's aware there's somebody waiting. It's actually the drop. The grenade gets him in the end. Renshiro has the double, but they only have 10 seconds. Shaiko digs his way up close as Bride locks off one more. Alamau, he's able to find one more. The diffuser is cold. He's on the floor with a shotgun, picked back up and dropped. But Alamau!
1v3!
This clip is actually going to be the best and the worst clip for Playday number 3. The reason why it's the best is because of how Alamau played it, but it showcases how equally bad BDS played it. The first mistake by BDS is in the freezer push. You can see Zofia and Maverick are pushing freezer with the diffuser. They're completely separated from the rest of the team and start playing aggressive at around 40 seconds left. Meanwhile, the other three are still waiting passively. Zofia engages and then dies, and gets traded out by Maverick, but then Maverick's immediately traded out. And then we're left with Ash, Sledge, and Hibana, who are nowhere near the engagement and can't trade them out. This is where they stalemate a little bit and probably try to come up with a plan quickly because they realize they're at a man disadvantage and the diffuser is cold. Now, with all that being said, BDS does play this incredibly smart. They managed to somehow turn it from a 3 versus 4 into a 3v1. However, this man advantage isn't too helpful when you only have 12 seconds left on the clock and you have no diffuser. This is where obviously the call gets made that they have to push for the kill. So they push in, Hibana dies, and the last two attackers have less health combined than the smoke does on his own. So pushing him for the kill is questionable, especially knowing that he has a shotgun. And now I will give credit to BDS. When they push him here, the Ash and the Sledge peak at the exact same time. Unfortunately for them, Alamau played in the corner where Ash can't see them at all. Overall, great play by Alamau. He positioned himself right, picked them off one by one, and knew how to force them to play time. But overall, tough scene by BDS as they scrambled to get to the diffuser.
I'm wondering now if there's also going to be a push inside of Master at the same time, because normally you take 1 and a 2, you push from the same angle at the same time, and you can normally pinch the player out who's playing inside of Attic. At least that is the hope. But for Spirits, I thought for a second he was going to bolt his way up White there and cause some trouble. Tagged out a little bit earlier on, now he's going to burn his way through those Goyo shields.
And this is the thing, Des, you know, it's easy to clear utility like that from underneath because they know exactly where the shield is going to be placed because it's common spot. So
again, another opening from Penguin, by the way.
I don't know what's happening here. There's Penguin getting the opener. 5 versus 4. Out goes the Nitro. Spirits will lose his life as Fultz finds that kill with a headshot. And that leaves us 4 versus 4, all squared away for the time being for SSG. But this is absolute chaos on the top floor, Des, as Penguin once again gets the kill. Headshot onto Rampy, and once again a C4 sails out and finds the explosive kill. Esker, he gains the advantage once again for Parabellum. 3 versus 2, 50 seconds left to go. It's a triple for Fultz, Des, but Canadian's down. It's 1v1. And Fultz, he's looking for the ace. He's going to just slow the pace down. He's going to hold his angle. He needs to find Sonar, and he does. That's all 5, Des. SSG come back fighting, or more specifically, Fultz comes back fighting.
Here we're going to have the first ace of the video. Definitely not the first of the tournament, but one that basically saved SSG from losing quickly to Parabellum. Before we even get to the first frag, you can see that Fultz is heading down the main stairs. I believe the call was made that Parabellum was doing a strict attic and kitchen take, so Fultz knew he was clear to push around main and flank the Ash below, who had already been damaged by the smoke. The timing on the Ash kill was perfect. I assume a call was made to distract Ash as she pushed up White, you know, Malusi shooting at her, throwing the C4, and then Fultz would come in for the kill while she's distracted. Worked out perfectly. And honestly, while I was watching this live, I will admit, I thought it would have been hilarious if Malusi managed to kill Fultz with the C4 after the flank, but it was blown a second early. Now this next play where he throws a C4 into attic, I would call a risky move. From what I can see, they didn't have any intel to confirm that Nomad was on that little ledge. Obviously they were pushing attic, but there was still over a minute left. They wouldn't necessarily be rushing that. So it could have been a wasted C4, but luckily for him, it actually paid off and he got a free kill. And now this is where I feel a little bit bad for Parabellum. I'm not sure if it's just a spectator bug or what, but Fault seems to be unaffected by the Grismot that detonates right in front of him, and he swings Zofia and kills her, which leaves the diffuser cold on the ground. And while he does that, the call is given to him that Maverick is on the window, and unluckily for Maverick, he had already started the jump-in animation before Zofia even died. So this was basically on a silver platter for him to get a kill and put into a 1v1. Situations like this, while rare, are why I'm an advocate for being able to cancel your jump-in animation. But anyways, moving on, SSG had the intel in the form of an evil eye and made the call for him to swing when Hibana was looking away, ultimately getting him the ace. But I think what's the most impressive part about all of this is that Faults managed to deal about 350 of the 500 damage needed to kill all 5 members of Parabellum. So it's not like he came in and snaked a bunch of kills, he actually did a lot of the work by himself. Overall, great play.
Now, that has been one of the key problems for Parabellum, has been dealing with those roamers and getting hit on the flank. That's not going to be possible this time around, but they do have the clash to deal with. They have pushed down.
Oh, how did you do that?
Now, Sona, he doesn't mind that he's getting shocked by the clash shield. He's still going to find his kill onto Rampy.
That's a beautiful opening kill. Rampy, who's had a good couple of rounds here, goes down first. A grenade comes in. Bosco's gone. That's the smokes removed too. Another grenade primed. It's going to be a step across. Coming in from Nade. Doesn't connect the crucial shots. Faults has gone down. It's 5 versus 2. The world champions are about to lose out. Nade keeping it going. Pushing in. Can he find the second? Surely he can. No, he misses again. How do you do that? Esker with the pistol. Parabellum have beaten the world champions.
Unfortunately for SSG, that Faults ace was wasted as they did end up losing to Parabellum in overtime, which means that SSG managed to get both the best and the worst clips of the day in the same match. And it all starts with one mistake: Canadian scratching his forehead. As he runs the corner and sees Hibana pushed up on Freezer, he's scratching his forehead and can't shock Hibana until he grabs his mouse again. And I'm sure it wouldn't have changed anything because I don't think he could have slowed her down fast enough, but it sure didn't help the situation. And then the other big mistake is that they had no presence in the freezer or even watching it from laundry, which is what allowed Hibana to push in so easily. Canadians should have been playing there as Clash the entire time and making sure that if they were to push up, they wouldn't be able to push up quickly. But for some reason, he was just in the hallway next to site. He can't really watch main stairs or freezer from there, so I don't know what the intention was there. But this one early kill from Parabellum caused a domino effect of mistakes as SSG had to scramble to cover for the now dead Jaeger. Jaeger seems to have been positioned in sight next to the electrical door so he could watch both freezer door as well as tower stairs. But once he died, Goyo then had to cover the freezer door instead of laundry with Smoke, which left Smoke alone to fight the Maverick who ended up nading him. And again, because Jaeger was dead, no one was watching tower stairs, and Zofia picks off a Rooney who had to come in from bunker to try to help their team. And then this scramble from Goyo didn't help either, but ultimately did not matter because Parabellum already had full control and Clash was just getting beat down in the hallway. So let that be a lesson to you kids. Don't scratch your forehead.
Lost those nades like you talked about, so the soft destruction is lesser than it should be, but the plant might be happening.
It's just in the cubby, right on top of the breach, and Kayak will get it down and immediately peel off. 9 players still alive in the server, but that number's going to go down very quickly, and it begins to drop. Skies with 1, then traded off by Virtue. Dark 0 will still have a numbers advantage, but the number advantage that's even more important is the clock, and that one is G2's. NJR now finished. As from above, on Repel, Citizen is just too much for him to handle. Mint will watch as his teammates drop around him, but he's still got 2 more at his side. He's picked off from the back, but DZ's guns find everybody but Virtue. He's posted up inside a library, watching the main stairs. There's a ping there from the Goyo of Eclipse, and he gets read perfectly by Virtue. Those pings will give information. More going now as Virtue picks around the corner, but he's going to have to hurry. Mint, he doesn't get it. Beautiful play from Virtue, and it's a 3-3 first half.
This clip is probably going to have the least amount of analysis, as honestly all we can say is, wow, that was a close one. 0.06 seconds left on the clock and Virtue wins the 1 versus 3. And honestly, G2 did not play this that well. They made a lot of mistakes and almost threw it. But luckily Virtue did everything he needed to win, and if he had faltered for even a fraction of a second on any of his movements, G2 would have lost that round. Luckily for G2, Virtue is known for these clutches.
Dan will be the linchpin of this freezer push here. He has the site control over towards freezer hatch. Anaton and the rest of the players desperately want to cook these ADSs and push him out. There's another player standing nearby to be able to assist. And as he knows those ADSs get cooked out, he has about 10 seconds to shuffle around, but no one pushes, no one acts on it just yet. And now that that shield gets destroyed, it'll look like he is going to have a do or die situation, but he's wasting so much time here, James. It's really what Empire needs. That's a crouch walk in the side.
Oh my god, they're planting! Cyclops is planting! In the 5 versus 5! Empire still have peer control, but they have absolutely no clue! In a 5v5 on match points in overtime, Empire have to retake! Where were the Yokai drones? Off in La La Lands! And now Cyclops just have to hold on. Empire making their way back in. Can Shepard stick this? Surely CAG are on the watch for it, but that's the cover they need! Where is the denial? Empire!
Another clip that won't receive too much analysis because I think it's fairly obvious. I'm sure you can tell that Cyclops threw that round. It's incredibly rare that you see a round end with more than 3 people left, let alone 5. And normally in those situations it ends on time, not disabling the diffuser. In this round, Cyclops managed to get the plant down without anyone noticing, but they failed to set up proper coverage. In the post-plant you can see how sloppy it is. There are 3 people watching the Legion that's sitting in VIP. I'm not entirely sure what Yana was covering. I'm assuming it was the door to freezer from the hatch, but she should have been watching the double window. She did end up watching it and killing Echo, but that was after he did a bunch of damage to Buck and scared off Ace. And then by that point, Zofia and Yana are in no position to stop the disabling, and they lose the round.
Need to push through. VIP, a very big contest point. They need to take care of that player before they can really go for the safe drops. And Bosco will want to use one of these Candelas to at least slow him down while the pressure is coming down from the window at the same time. Is this going to be working or will oxygen fall? That is the big question right here as 2 Candelas get used.
There it is, the E1D screams off as well. Bosco suffers, and the swing comes around from the backside. Pre-fires, drops the man who could not see anything. Now, they have that man advantage, but they only have 20 seconds as Canadian has dug his way through into the site. I believe they don't know, and the clear is going to come out. There's the backside. Pino gets one, gets dropped from Brown, and suddenly everybody starts to fall. Fultz is taken care of and covered. It's now a 2 versus 2 with all the bodies down, but the diffuser isn't in anyone's hand. It's Nade, and it's another trade. It's another cover. Rampy goes for the stick, goes for the kill, goes for everything. Can't make it connect. Oxygen!
For day 6, the last day of groups, we only have this clip. Both sides had their good plays, but it was overall a mess. The first weird part for me was that Smoke just casually looked at Ying and didn't shoot at her until she walked away. Not sure why it took him so long. I'm not sure if he just thought it was a teammate for a second or what, but at least he got the kill and went 1 for 1. The next series of events is hard to tell since we only get to see Lion's perspective, but it quickly goes from a 4v3 into a 2v2 as both Zofia and Ace get downed. Zofia, we can see, got in a fight with Aruni and got downed while Lion traded her. With only 11 seconds left on the clock, Lion had to push to site and couldn't pick up Zofia. And then Ace, from what we can tell, was downed by Valkyrie as he left Freezer trying to get into site. Now here's where I think SSG got flustered and made 2 big mistakes, which I don't fault them for because of how little time there was left in the round. The first mistake in my opinion was Lion running into site. Yes, he did get the kill onto Maestro, but it left Sledge in a 1v1 situation with no time to plant. If Sledge were pushing for the kill and didn't go for Diffuser, I think this would have been a good play, as he probably could have traded her. But Sledge went back in through Freezer to try to grab the Diffuser while Lion swung in. I believe that the better play would have been to watch the cross from the door or the hallway. SSG knew that the Master camera was already taken care of in the kitchen bunker, so the defenders would have to run in to kill the planter. Now I'm sure SSG was concerned about the C4, but I believe they should have been aware that it was already used, since Valkyrie was the only defender on the entire team who could bring one. But even if she did have it, Lion could watch for a C4 throw and hopefully shoot it from the doorway. But instead we were left in a 1v1, and honestly both players just whiffed really hard. Luckily for OXG, it resulted in a win on time.
But here comes the flank, and guess who's watching it? Is that joystick on the drone? He knows he's there. You heard wrong, buddy, and you missed your shots, and all of a sudden Vertical, he's able to come up from behind. But with 30 seconds left, they're going to have to deal with him very quickly, and he could just delay as much time as he wants.
Vertical's going to play very passive here. It's a risk, though. Empire have the numbers advantage should they just go straight to side. But of course, Vertical knows about this window plant, so he starts to push on in, but it's not a plant at window at all. It's a plant at... I don't even see it, as Pino's not doing anything. Empire have made this plant go down right on the breach, and OXG have to retake in the 3 versus 4. Empire take post-plant positions. Yoga looks to get aggressive. Nice shot there onto Always, though. 3v3 for Oxygen. As they start to stick this, there needs to be some plant denial. Yoga can just hold on. Cyther has to deny it. He does! Vertical. It's a 1v2 for the man as he rounds the corner, makes it a 1v1. On to Dan now, the last player to hold on. And he's gonna fake it. 3 ticks as Dan shut down. Vertical, I think he just has time. We hold a bated breath. Vertical, he does it. No. The defenders win.
This round was basically the inverse of Virtue's clutch on Chalet. Vertical manages to disable the diffuser with only 0.3 seconds left on the clock, which is insane. Going through the round though, we do see some pretty questionable plays from Oxygen as a whole. After Vertical kills Jackal on the flank, he heads upstairs and then jumps out the gym window. This to me shows that Oxygen was so focused on the breach wall being the point of entry for Empire, when in reality it was through construction. Empire only ever had 1 person stationed on the breach wall. This results in the diffuser going down in cache without anyone even noticing, which is a huge mistake here by Oxygen. Here they have 2 people watching the breach, but again it makes sense because they assumed that they would all run in through there. We unfortunately can't talk too much about what Vertical does here because we don't get to see his perspective, but I want to note how important his fake out is on the diffuser. He hits it 3 times, but I believe it only makes noise twice, which gives the Zofia the impression that he is sticking to defuse. Since Vertical started early enough, he knows that he can get off it and try to get the kill. And here Zofia commits the push, which is honestly the smart move and in most situations would work. Scare the defender off so they don't have enough time to defuse it once they kill you. Sacrifice your life so you win. And like I said, in almost any situation the defenders would lose here, but Vertical managed to kill him with just the perfect amount of timing to get right back on it and defuse it with only 0.3 seconds left.
They might just go for a Moto and Blue push here in Sack Off Kitchen, for example, and you can see that there are 2 or 3 currently stacked inside of Dirt from Liquid. This feels like the right sort of time to make something happen.
Ness just taking a little bit of chip damage there. He's trying to hold on to Blue Tunnel for the time being. I like what I see from Parabellum here, and that is multiple angles of attack, Des, and this is what happens. Parlu shut down underneath Kitchen, Ness shut down in the blue corridor, and they're rushing into sight. They're getting kills. PSK and Moringa do what they can to stem the floor, and how about that? PSK finds 2 to add to 1, leaving him 3 on the round. A quad kill gets Team Liquid round number 1.
I think this is one of those rounds that you can look at and say it was both a great play by Liquid and also an awful play by Parabellum. It's hard to tell because we don't have the perspective, but I believe while Ash was pushing into Moto door, Zofia pushed in through the blue rotate hole. This is a good example of how to set up in a trading position. That way if either of them dies, the other can trade. Unfortunately for Parabellum, Liquid had 2 people inside church watching each of the entrances, and they managed to kill both of them, Mute onto Ash and Kaid onto Zofia. This left Parabellum scrambling as they had very little time left and no diffuser. And diffuser wasn't even in a spot where they could grab it and run. It was way too far away, so all they could do was throw their bodies at the situation and hope someone got the kill. He knew where they were coming from and just managed to pick off 2 of them right away and then get Buck at the very end. The only criticism I would give is that with the last kill, I'm not sure why PSK swings onto the Buck. There was literally 0 seconds left on the clock. The smart play would have been just to sit by the boxes and wait it out. He knows he has diffuser and he knows they can't plant. You just sit and wait and you play it safe. Because if Buck had gone the shot on PSK, Liquid would have lost. But PSK is a gunner and took the fight and he won.
Here comes the controller space. There goes the smoke canisters, and you're assuming a man with a special set of goggles. Well, he is waiting patiently to absolutely tear them up.
Oh, the moment the goggles will run out, he's going to be able to at least pick up 1 kill, and with that, drop that diffuser. Was aware of the fact that the man dropped down on the new balcony. As kills come down either way, it's going to be the question whether or not that diffuser can be recovered, and if they can try and get that plan down in these last 60 seconds, because Paulo seems well aware of the position of the member right next to him.
Ness desperately trying to set himself up inside the cigar shop as the cover actually comes over the side, hoping that baits the play round on the split, but it's Parlu In the meantime, confirms and locks off one more. That is a very isolated body underneath the new Balk right now. He's going for a bit of a swing and a swan either way, as he's intensely alone, and that's the big problem. It's a big, big blow of space as he's finally able to get a little bit of a shoulder of support here, but Ness's on the door. He gets locked out instead, and Astro gets a vital pick, but with only 20 seconds left, and this huge bout of no man's land with the deployable camera offering cover, Parlu just going to swip for a quad. He's going to go find the fifth, hopefully, as he hops over the side of Lumber. There it is! There's an ace!
Obviously, I had to show this round, because it was an ace. With Warden, one of the most situational operators to have ever existed. Liquid did a good job reading into the play coming from FaZe and bringing the Warden. They knew they were going to smoke the bar and try to plant underneath Skylight. And by picking him, they got to use his gadget to stop what would have been a perfectly covered plant. For the rest of the round, there's not much to analyze, as the kills are pretty straightforward and clean. Just a shout out to all the people who cried when Zofia lost with Stand. If she still had it, this round could have easily been a loss for Liquid. But luckily, UB made the smart decision to remove it from the game, and it netted Palu an ace. Which also, shout out to Ness on Jaeger, who downed the Zofia and allowed Palu to get the kill.
It really isn't at this point in time. Merc, he relocates. He's on the Jackal, so he can get inside, use that Inox scanner and see if he can just pick up any footprints. There is still a man inside of Library, but if he hasn't moved recently, if he just kept himself locked in the corner, there might not be anything for the Jackal to pick up. Ness gets a kill onto Geo. Ness gets another onto Achieved. This is turning into the Ness show, Des, as he gets another double here. We've got 15 kills on the scoreboard for him. Bolo finds one onto Moringa, shuts him down. Calm down, Bolo. Don't go taking pop shots at Merc. They can see each other. Merc's holding the angle. He's cutting off the rotate from Library stairs, but the problem is there's still one above. Ness finds Bolo. Merc, you can't stop him if he doesn't come down the stairs. There you go. That's 4 for Ness. Can he find a fifth? Yes, he can, Des. That is the ace from Ness.
This round is a perfect example of how to play staircases. Ness gets 2 kills off camera, which brought TSM to a halt because the diffuser was dropped at the bottom of the staircase. He played it pretty well as well. You can see just for a split second that he shotgunned from the top of the stairs, aiming right down onto Thermite. He knows he has the diffuser down, so he sits to protect it. And now I don't want to take anything away from Ness here because he played this perfectly, but I'm seriously questioning what TSM was doing, especially Merc. The angle he's holding from the closet doesn't cover anything. He's not watching the staircase, he's not watching the door to game room. He's just kind of staring at a wall. And Ness goes to the top of the stairs and gets an angle on Bolo coming from game room and hits him with the SMG-11. This is where Merc should be looking at the stairs and getting ready to trade, but instead he just walks forward like he's lost, and Ness shoots him with a shotgun from the staircase that he had been on the entire time. I'm not sure if something happened, but it looked like Merc for some reason had no idea that Ness was on that staircase. But it was a good read from Ness. He played all the angles from above, he had the high ground, and he forced TSM into a really bad position to try to retrieve the diffuser. The rest of his team could just sit and wait because they had the man advantage and he was just punishing them from above. Now here are the 3 worst plays of those days.
And put some additional pressure in from the front door. Here we go. There's that office drop, or lobby drop, excuse me, allowing them to get into the B site and start working towards the plant. Skies will look to put it down first, but immediately we're going to see Heist sneak up Spiral, steal away NJR. Doesn't interrupt the plant, mind you. Skies should still be able to get this down. Oh, maybe not a Nitro. Interrupts them, but the Fuser still goes down on the ground. The OBJ has been completed. Here's the issue, though. They're fighting from a 3v5. A good start for Mint, and he's able to execute Fantasy, but the other 4 quickly rotating back up to try and retake this site regardless. Dark Zero, though, also with top-down angles, will make this difficult. However, Highs quick on the tail of this, looking to try and pinch out the players, but no, has failed to account for Eclipse, who is still downstairs. He wraps up through the Visa stairs to take out Highs. It's not looking good for Furia right now as they're quickly running out of time. What a team kill! What? How did that happen? Mint goes down, Eclipse standing, and he's not even ready for the fight. A Projector Lenda shuts it all down, and Furia go up 5-1.
And to send Makers home. There is still a bit of a struggle. There is a mirror window up that is holding off admin. That means they're possibly going to be completely denying that. TSM is just going to forget about it. The rushing side, actually. Geo is going to be about to enter. The plant is going down. Sasha has no clue.
He's stuck a C4 in the wrong space, and Charla's stuck one more down. There's the swing onto the diffuser planter. It goes a bit cold, but the pressure is still red hot. Screams round the side, achieved on the backside of site, takes it Scatto with the response and revenge. The isolated diffuser is between two bodies. They swing round, he's behind you, he's on a triple, and Charla's able to slip away, break the mold of somebody dying for every single trade that's come through. There it is, just a slip at the last second of post-blood, and a team kill. Charla, he's having everybody for dinner, including his own. Can he be the last one eating? Lolo goes for one more attempt at a huge clutch on the close corners. It's peppered bullets and a pistol for a potential pre-fire round in the side. He hits zero, he gets it, and Makers get one more attempt.
And they're going to have to try and stabilize and stop the bleeding for as long as they can. But everyone from Empire piling in. Cypher's still on the ground, bleeding out as he goes. Down and low HP also has to be careful. Potential smoke could finish him off. Moringa gets down and killed by always a nade. That's been dropped because he's got the kill. Oh my word! Oh no! Empire have had a nightmare!
I'm sure you guys spotted a common trend in all of them. All of the rounds were lost because of some team kills. In the first clip, I think Eclipse heard Thatcher get shot from the top of Spiral by the Echo, so he just flicked to his right and shot the first thing he saw, which unfortunately was not Echo, it was Zofia. And then in the second clip, we have Charla kill Sledge after he sticks the diffuser. He stuck it, tried to sprint out, and ran right into Charla's shot. This is kind of both of their faults, because Charla should not be shooting once the diffuser is down. I know he did it to cover, but the diffuser's down. You can just back up a bit. But in his defense, Sledge shouldn't be sprinting backwards as soon as it goes down. He would have been better off either slowly backing up or just proning on the diffuser. In a 2v1, you play for trades. And then with the last clip, it was probably the most unfortunate case for the team kills. It was a result of multiple bad decisions as Empire had funneled themselves into a bunker with nowhere to go. And I'll be honest, when watching this for the first time, I thought that Jaeger had managed to kill Sledge when he threw a grenade and it just dropped on the floor. But actually, upon further review, the Sledge throws a grenade and it looks like it bounces off Zofia's arm and then lands next to all three of them. And then Jaeger gets the kill because Sledge, as well as the other two, are running away from the grenade. Just remember, at the end of the day, team kills happen. Unfortunately for them, it happened at the biggest Siege event of the year. These next few clips will be from the Grand Finals, where NIP and Liquid faced off to be the world champions.
On to Psycho. 5 versus 4, only 50 seconds to play. This round is quickly worn away as Pino steps in and brings down Palu. Finally, okay, 4 versus 4. Gets the second. Shouldn't be collecting kills like that for free, but Pino might have just given them a massive advantage. Can he see the last man? Yes, he can! Pino with a triple kill. The unsuspected assailant inside a garage should have done enough to get NIP over the finish line, but we all saw how last round almost played out, Ace.
All down to Ness and Sexy Cake now. Muzi playing out there on the breach. We've got two established on the garage catwalk. Kamikaze has the diffuser in hand as well. They haven't opened up that wall onto the server stack. Instead, they're going to move through the single window, I think. They don't really have time to start thinking about any alternative now. Sexy Cake is just constantly throwing those toxic babe canisters into the default plant spot. They try to rush into site. Ness finds Kamikaze, but Pino gets his fourth. Can it be an ace? Nesk is on a fraction of health. He finds Pino. He won't have it this time. Nesk wins out again. How?
This first clip is the biggest blunder from the finals, where NIP just handed the round over to Liquid. The first questionable part is Thermite sprinting for the kill instead of planting. My personal theory is that they lost track of who had been killed, and they figured one of the defenders would be downstairs ready to C4 the plant. So what they wanted to do was get the kill in smoke and then plant on a table where it would be safe. So they all tried to rush the smoke, but Aruni managed to kill Thermite. Now, had Maverick dropped the Logi hatch a few seconds sooner, he would have been able to tell them that she was in construction as she hits him for 75 damage as he drops. But by the time that he would be able to make that call, it was too late. Thermite was dead. I do also think this call to have Maverick rotate all the way over to Logi hatch was a pretty big mistake. He was already pretty close to it, but he wasted like 15 seconds or 10 seconds on the balcony of Cash, just constantly dropping and climbing back up and then getting ready to go to the hatch. If he had just gone to the breach wall, he probably would have saved time for his team and been more helpful. But either way, NIP floods site. Thermite gets killed by Rooney, Smoke gets killed by Hibana. Now I think what ultimately lost NIP the round was Maverick going to Master. It's hard to tell because we can't fully see it on the screen, but it looks like Maverick got lost in Master. I think he saw the barricade was up on Master door and he just couldn't decide whether he should break it down and run through, or if he should go back into Lodge and try to shoot through the wall. You can kind of see him double back and then double back again before Aruni pans away to kill Hibana. I think if he had not wasted that 1 second on the indecision, he may have been able to kill Aruni, because she ended up prone by the cache door with 1 HP. He might have been able to get that kill from the door to Master. But instead the round ends with 3 people left alive and the defenders win.
Beating just yet. Muzi's looking to get aggressive onto windows here, but PSK still locked on those yellow stairs. 1 minute left to go, and plenty of work for Liquid to do here. Moringa manages to put shots onto Julio, and the work starts to be done as Parlu finds a kill onto Psycho. 5 versus 4, 50 seconds left to go.
The long angle without a Nomad here, you have to commit a man with a gun or a man with a grenade in some cases with Moringa. Getting the second of the round. Things progressing pretty well with 45 seconds still remaining. A grenade rolled to the bathroom, but one man runs in front of him. Oh, he may rue not bringing down Kamikaze, who's down to a slither of HP, but is laid down through the soft wall. He just doesn't know it here. Sees the man, now he knows, because he moves and squirmed a little bit too much. C4 comes out. They're all flying forward here just to try and prevent this diffuser going down. How on earth has Pino managed to pull this one back? Ness putting Muzi in the dirt. 1 versus 2 and 20 seconds to play. Pino, he's got such a big opportunity to completely catch this one out, but with Ness and Palu, 2 of the strongest players that we know, topping the kill charts at the minute, this should be their round.
Diffuser down on the ground. Pino with an essential kill there. He can play for time, Des. Palu needs to go in and get that diffuser. That's exactly what he'll do. He has no option but to try and put this on the ground. It's all down to Pino. He's not going to challenge. I don't think he knows that it's going down. He's certainly not confident in the fact he's going to take a head-to-head gunfight. This is 2 of the greatest, Des. Head-to-head in a 1 versus 1. Pino versus Palu. Diffuser down. Palu takes off. Pino finds the headshot from across the map. Unbelievable skill displayed from the NIP, man.
For this moment, I really only want to mention one small play. The entire round was played well by both teams, but Pino made a very smart decision that I don't think the casters realized in the moment, and I don't blame them, this all happened so fast. After Pino gets the kill and it becomes a 1 versus 1, Hibana goes for the plant by Piano. Pino knows that the plant is going down, because there's 0 seconds left on the clock. It has to be happening. And now most people will be aggressive and push right into Piano and try to go for the kill as they're planting. But by the time he pushes in there, the plant's almost going to be done. And Hibana's going to be left in a really good position to fight. Using the cover of the Piano and the bomb, Hibana would have been very hard to hit, while Pino would have been kind of standing out in the open of Piano room. So instead, Pino opts to go around to main lobby where he can use the other bomb as cover. As the gunfight starts, Hibana tries to shoot at Pino and hits the bomb instead. I'm not sure if he would have done enough damage to kill him, but the bomb possibly saved his life. So by rotating around, he put himself into a much better position and actually ended up winning the round because of that small play.
You can see for Sexy Cake, when he was on the top floor, how much utility he had. There was magnets up there, mute jammers were up there, they had the reinforcement with them, all that just given away seemingly for free because of how early he died.
Moringa on the spiral stairs could have a big impact inside of this round, Des. Now, here we go. Out go the smoke canisters. Kamikaze thinking about going in for that plant. Moringa, as I said, does have an impact, finds 1. Can he get himself a second? He's being challenged from the door. Kamikaze gets PSK. It's looking like it's going in the favour. Kamikaze's pushing downstairs. He's shut down by Palu. The diffuser's down on the ground. It's 3 versus 2 as Moringa finds 1 upstairs as well, but he's downed. It's all down to Palu. 1 versus 2 effectively. 1 versus 3 as Moringa is finished off. 14 seconds left to go. This is tense.
C4.
He's got a C4 in hand. Pino takes the drop. Julio has diffuser in hand. He finds the shots, but Palu cannot find the kill. Out comes the Nitro. It's shot out by Pino. That is the round in 2020. Brazilian hearts were broken, but like a phoenix, NIP rise from the ashes to claim the hammer at the 6th Invitational 2021.
This round doesn't have a whole lot that I want to talk about. I just really wanted you guys to see the final round of SI 2021, where NIP are victorious, and after coming in 2nd place in 2020, managed to win the World Championships. The only play I really want to highlight is that save at the end, when Mira goes for the C4 and the C4 is shot out of midair. Had that C4 connected, it would have turned into a 1v1 situation where the attackers would have had to plant or chase for the kill, and Mira could have easily ran away and hid. So great job from NIP to close it out and become the world champions. That brings us to the end of our video. Lots of stuff happened at SI, and I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Just wanted to say thank you again to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. And don't forget that the North America League starts again on June 15th. Make sure to follow R6 Esports NA on Twitter so you can get all the latest information. And again, if you want to support your favorite orgs, make sure to buy the regional league sets as well as the team items or bundles. For every purchase made, 30% of the revenue will directly support the organizations. But that's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.